evening, everybody, and welcome to Championship Wednesday for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. It all started with a wild idea about 13 weeks ago. 10 races, all on iRacing, all featuring drivers, crew members, and fans from eastern South Dakota, northwest Iowa, southwest Minnesota, and the very northern edge of Nebraska. And it all culminates here tonight on a championship event. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Neisted, and with us, as always for this one, we like to call him Scotty Too Hottie, Scotty DeYoung here on this championship Wednesday night. And Scotty, we have so much to look forward to and so much to talk about in these next 14 minutes or so that remain on practice here tonight.
I mean, week 10, is it here already? I mean, I don't want to be done yet. Just the action we have seen throughout these 10 weeks here, Sean, at different tracks, different sanctions, and different cars. We've seen UMP mods, street stocks, 305s, 360s. I believe we had a 410 show in there too, did we not?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. Just maybe that's the tease we're looking for when we look towards SoDak iRacing Series number 2. We'll talk about that more later on in this broadcast. That's something we're looking forward to once the real racing season around here is finished. We're going to talk about that tonight. Scotty, we've got a couple other things to talk about here as well. Let's dive right in. First, let's talk about the points battle coming into tonight, and then we're going to talk about a big deal with tonight's potential back row challenge. So first, let's start with the points. We've seen one driver be so consistent. He's been to victory lane multiple times, but the consistency is what stands out to me, and the driver we're talking about here is Tanner Koster, the points leader coming into tonight's event. Scotty, what can we say about him? He has looked so strong all across the board.
Mr. Podium, I think, would be the best nickname to give him for this 10-week series. I think there's only been 1 or 2 weeks he's been off the podium. He's had a three-peat of wins there, 3 wins right in a row. Always near the top. If he's not there at the beginning, you know he's going to be there at the end. Definitely a tough competitor, and definitely the guy to beat coming into tonight's championship.
Sitting just behind him in the points hunt is the driver we called week 1 Ice Cold Michelob, and it kind of stuck from there. Caleb Volz, the Madison, South Dakota driver in his number 23 car, he sits 65 points out of this event. So here's where we're going to break down the point structure for the SoDak iRacing Series. Tonight's quick timer gets 50 points. Second quick is 48, third is 46. It goes down by 2 for a few more spots, then down by 1. Tonight's heat race winners all pick up 50 points, 48 for second, 46 for third, 44 for fourth, down by 2 all the way through. Your A-main winner picks up 100 points, and then it's down to 95, 92, 90, 88, 86, and so on. Why do we bring this up? Well, the magic number tonight for Tanner Koster, who enters this event with a 65-point edge over Caleb Volz, this magic number I want you to remember all night tonight is 43. If Tanner Koster maintains a 43-point lead going into tonight's A-main, he will have secured the championship over the other drivers. That is the magic number here tonight. Now, there are a multitude of ways to achieve that, but let's just say, let's make it easy right now. If he would time trial in the top 10 and finish the heat in a transfer spot, that would secure the championship. Caleb Volz, as we mentioned, sits number 2 in the point standings. Just 2 points behind him. Here's one I'm looking forward to watching tonight, is Travis Shores. Travis Shores enters tonight, 3rd in the points, 67 out of the points lead, but just 2 behind that second spot. John Coots, who is also very consistent. We'll see him in the number 13 car here tonight. He sits in the 4th spot, but he is just 6 points behind Travis Shores. Troy Shores completes the top 5, and then it's Dylan Workman, Austin Opdahl, Mitch Lupkus, Bruce Jones, and Tyler Johnson in the top 10. By the way, Bruce Jones just 8 points behind Mitch Lupkus, and Tyler Johnson just 6 points behind Bruce Jones. Why does all this matter? We're on iRacing. Points don't matter, right? Wrong. As we know, Scotty, this is $150 to win the points championship after tonight's program.
And not just $150 to win the championship, but $1,000 points fund throughout. I believe it's the top 10, if I'm correct there, Sean, as well as possibly a custom Jack's custom rod, fishing rod available as well.
That's right. So from your champion is going to pick up $150. Second place is going to pick up 100. Then 70, 50, 40, 30, 20, 20, 20, 20. And then the fishing rod for the 10th place spot. Or anyone in the top 10 could say, hey, that Jack's custom rod, which is valued at just over $100, I want that instead. So anybody in the points could take that, and then the cash value that we just talked about would slide back one position. A lot of money on the line here tonight. Nielsen Crop Insurance, they're going to hand out 5 random draws for perfect attendance drivers for $20 for each of them. We'll also have the My Race Pass insider discount for 11th in the point standings. By the way, that's currently held by Kyle Roseboom. And they're also going to give out another My Race Pass insider discount for the driver who had the most quick times in this 10-week series. So that's a little bit about the points. As you see, we've got less than 10 minutes left in practice for the SoDak iRacing series presented by Jordan Updahl Construction. All right, let's talk about the other big headline here tonight, Scotty. Let's talk about the Back Row Challenge. As we know, every week there is a Back Row Challenge in every place, and it's been exciting, has it not?
Yes, it has, and unfortunately, we haven't seen anyone claim it yet. We've seen a few drivers come close. Second place finishes, but unfortunately, that is not enough to claim that $300 by John Kraus Racing and Team. Coming into tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but if no one claims it tonight, that $300 gets donated to Points Fund.
Absolutely. Now, are you ready for this? I'm going to drop a bomb on you right now, Scotty. Are you prepared for this one?
Go for it.
All right. Dylan Opdahl, one of our good friends in the area, from up there by Madison, Chester area. Great guy, racing 360 sprint cars, taking this year off so far. He's looking for sponsorship help. So if anybody out there watching this would like to sponsor a car, get him back on the track, look up Dylan Opdahl on Facebook. But here's why I bring up Dylan Opdahl. He is going to double the back to front challenge tonight and throw $300 of his money on the line. Oh, it doesn't end there, Scotty. If anybody wins from the B main tonight, he'll give them $100. So how about that? Virtual racing on a bull ring, a $600 back to front challenge. Oh my.
That is definitely a bombshell I was not expecting. I will give that to you. An extra $300 to come from the back and another $100 from the B main. That is just, wow. Thank you, Dylan Opdahl, for sure.
So again, if you are a business or a great person in the area, you're looking to support a racing team from here, they travel with the Midwest Sprint Touring Series, look him up, Dylan Opdahl. Looking for sponsors to get his number 2 car back out on the track this season. Good dude, good people, and a lot of fun to hang out with. And you know what? I need them to get racing again because we need them to. They're one of the teams that would meet us at Corson for Chislik after the racing on those nights. So pretty cool, pretty cool. We got other drivers chiming in that need sponsors too. CJ Johnson, that man was recently married, so if there's a good reason to get a sponsorship, that's probably it too. But yeah, Scotty, as if we needed more excitement for this night, we've added that from Dylan Opdahl onto the Back Row Challenge for tonight.
Absolutely, and if we're talking about sponsorships here, Trey Thiesenbitz commented on the live video here. He runs one of the cars here tonight and says, the cars ain't real, but the racing is, thanks to my friends who Venmo'd me money to put their faces on my car. So Trey Thiesenvitz, I'm sure, having a different paint scheme tonight, and he says each and every week he wants to go fast, and I'm sure he will.
That brings us to a good point. You bring up the Facebook messages. If you're watching and tuned in right now, as we certainly hope you are, comment on the feed on PitStop TV. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. And then when you do that, please, please, please click the little button that says share. We want as many people to be tuned in and see this here tonight as they've just checked in from the Cabaret in Carthage. They're cheering on, of course, they're cheering on Connor Hamilton. I can't wait for a night I can get up to the Cabaret in Carthage. I don't think I've ever been there. But as I was saying, please, please, please share this on your Facebook feed. We want everybody to see this championship night for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. All right, we teased it earlier, Scotty. Big news, talking with Troy. We know most of the racers in the area are pretty busy right now, and the real racing season has taken off. In fact, this whole SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction was born and created when we were all sitting around with nothing to do with COVID-19, basically stopping all sports, including racing in our area. How about this fall and into the winter, round 2 and the next series?
I'm up for round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I have thoroughly enjoyed, these past 10 weeks for on Advantage Racing TV and then now PitStop TV. Got to give a shout out to the guys at PitStop TV just for coming on and finishing out the series while Advantage is busy over at the real racetrack over at Buena Vista Raceway at the Beaver in Alta. So big shout out to PitStop TV guys. I mean, you guys are the ones that have been making this happen the past few weeks, and we could not thank you enough. I'm completely down for season 2 in the off season. This has been exciting each and every week. Racing has been nothing short of awesome and amazing. How about the fans though, Sean, that have tuned in each and every week? I mean, this is the real reason why we've done this, and I think we honestly have the best fans in the area.
Oh, absolutely. In talking to Troy Shores, so if you're looking to sponsor round 2 of the SoDak iRacing Series, contact Troy Shores. He's the one. But when he put this together, we didn't know what to expect. And, had we done this and 5 people tuned in, it would not have gone the 10 weeks. We would have wrapped it up and been done. This is stressful for Troy, putting these races on and getting all the settings right to make sure the racing's good. So had our fans not tuned in and wanted to be a part of this, it wouldn't have happened. But the response from the fans, unbelievable, overwhelming, fantastic, and we are really looking forward to it this fall and into the winter. So we will, of course, be announcing on Facebook more of that as much as we can. By the way, Becca said that my first drink at the Cabaret is on Matt Sturwald. I have not had a drink with Matt Sturwald that I can remember since a wedding dance. And if you want to see a guy who is talented with his feet in a race car and talented on a dance floor, but I think it takes a couple drinks, it's Matt Sturwald.
Have not had the pleasure. I just might have to run up to the Cabaret there with you, Sean.
Yeah, we should do that some night. I think we're having a banquet for the point series at some point here. Maybe we found our location. We'll have to see. That's all up to Troy. So again, for those of you commenting here tonight, I saw Jim Workman has checked in from beautiful Rushmore, Minnesota, and I know we've got folks tuning in from Oregon to watch Shooter Plagman run here tonight. Again, thank you so much for the comments, and again, make sure to share the feed so everybody out there watching can see it. Just saw a glimpse of some more of the cars out there on the racetrack, and take a look at this track, Scotty, as we're watching Brett Nielsen run around there in his Monster Energy number 10. This racetrack, to me, when we talked to the drivers, some of them talked last week that maybe that was the most Huset's-like track, but to me, the track we're at tonight, Lanier National Speedway, which is an actual pavement track down in Braselton, Georgia. This, to me, is the most Huset Speedway-like track that there is. And if you take a look here, we're looking at the aerial. You can almost see to the left side of your screen Split Rock Creek running along over there and then turning away from the track. You can almost see the hill on the right side of your screen going up towards the Lean household and then off towards Brandon. And it even has the white concession stand down there on the infield. So to me, this is the most Huset's racetrack that we have in iRacing and on this 10-week series. So I am looking forward to this race for so many reasons. The championship, the track quality. There's so much going on tonight to be excited about. This track is probably a little bit bigger than Huset's. It's listed at about 3/8 of a mile, so it's a little bit bigger than Huset's. Huset's is right there about 1/3 of a mile or a big quarter. Good banking on this racetrack, Scotty. I've had the opportunity to race on this one. We talked about this track earlier this year. Week 6, we ran the modifieds here. There's a little bit of a change in banking at the very bottom of the racetrack that can upset the race cars, and you can kind of see that on the screen there. The very bottom of the track, there's that little strip of lighter brown. Down there, that is flat because this is technically a pavement track. And so if you get down on that and then the car shoots up back into the banking, it can make the car push really bad if you hit it wrong. So that's one thing to watch here tonight, particularly with these sprint cars compared to the modifieds that we had here back on week number 6. Scotty, we've reached our favorite time of the night. It's time for time trials. Cars hitting the track.
Yes, time for time trials indeed. As you see the Trey Thiesenvitz, I want to go fast in the 53 out there doing some laps. Also the 55 out there as well. As we're waiting for time trials to come up here. You'd have more information than I do, Sean.
Oh, I do. Christopher Murray chimed in right away. Tanner Koster looking for that championship tonight. He goes to the top of the charts immediately. A 12:3:23. Peyton Seitz, Christopher Murray. Now Luke Yanez up to the 3rd spot. Murray back to 4th. Tyler Johnson had vacation last week. He's in the top 5, or was momentarily, with the quick times. But Tanner Koster still quick time right now as Dylan Workman jumps to the 2nd spot. A 12:3:85, 12:3:85, the time for the 75 of Dylan Workman. Bruce Jones, we saw him running a lot of very good practice laps. The 17 car goes 3rd quick right now, 12:3:86. 4th quick right now, Austin Opdahl, the Opdahl Farms 20, a 12:4:26. And Kyle Roseboom, a 12:5:98. That is the top 5 on the screen right now. Taking a look at cars continuing to chime in here in qualifying time trials. Tanner Koster, Dylan Workman, Bruce Jones, Austin Opdahl, Kyle Roseboom remained the top 5. Ryan McCarty, the 111, just jumped up to the 9th spot with a 12:4:88.
As you see, Mitch Lupkus going for half a spin cycle there.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is. Boy, did everybody time? Oh, Travis Shores has not timed yet in the number 1 car. He's
probably adding fuel.
Yeah, that could be 2 consecutive wins for Travis Shores. Picked up the win, the 305s at Volusia. And how about last week's win for Shores at Limeland, getting the turn 4 pass for the victory. And boy, I hope Travis isn't having a computer issue right now, because he is yet to take the track in his number 1 car. Let's run down your top 10. Tanner Koster and the 97 is quick time thus far, 12:3:23. Dylan Workman at a 12:3:85. Bruce Jones, 12:3:86. Austin Opdahl, 12:4:26. Kyle Roseboom, 12:4:71. Kevin Plagman, 6th quick, 12:4:78. Troy Shores, 12:4:79. The 12 car sits 7th quick. 8th quick right now, Peyton Seitz, 12:4:88. Ryan McCarty, the 111, sits 9th quick at 12:4:88. Seitz and McCarty with equal time. So that is your top 9 in qualifying time. Charles, heat race number 1 on the track. Scotty, if you want to give us a starting lineup, I am going to update the points.
And as you called it, Sean, Travis has got connection issues, so we'll see if he can make it out for heat race here. Starting grid, starting on the pole is Tyler Johnson to the inside with Ryan McCarty to the outside in the 111. And then starting inside row number 2, Kyle Rosenboom in the 42 car, and Tanner Coster in the Alzheimer's Association number 97. He is your point leader tonight, so be sure to keep an eye on that number 97 as we go throughout the night here. Starting inside of row number 3 is going to be Ice Cold Michelob, Michaela Volts in the 23 to the inside, with Lance Ripka in the 54 to his outside. Inside of row number 4, that is Chris Schrum in the 7 car, and to the outside, Jordan Opdahl in the 41. And starting shotgun on the field in 9th is supposed to be Travis Schurz in the 1 car. We'll see if he's got his connection issues fixed. And we'll see what he can do from the back of the pack here. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Jack's Custom Rods. Here for 10 laps the distance here at the Lanier Speedway heat race number 1 for the SoDak iRacing series. Thank you all for joining us here tonight, championship night here at the Lanier Speedway. To everyone at the Cabaret, thank you for joining us. To everyone wherever you may be, thank you for joining us as well. I think we have something special planned for you, the fans, here later on tonight, so be sure to stay tuned. As Sean mentioned earlier, hit that like button, hit that share button, and let's get the word out about the SoDak iRacing series here on championship night. And let's see what these guys can do and who will come away with the hardware at the end of the night.
All right, just trying to get everything finalized here as I update the points.
You know, Sean, you're not only a busy man, you know, just calling regular races. Here for this iRacing stuff, you've kept track of almost everything. And as a new announcer myself coming into the ranks, I'm still getting into that phase of writing everything down and trying to keep track of everything week to week at the tracks that I announce at.
I'm a nerd, man. That's all it comes down to, is I'm an absolute nerd. Tanner Coster, we'll have some news maybe after this heat race for him.
Oh boy.
Looks like we're just about set to go. Jack's Custom Rods heat race number 1 coming to the start, Scotty, on this championship night. Man, am I excited to be here with you and the fans and all these great drivers. Tyler Johnson, good to see him back after having a vacation trip last week.
Green flag, green flag.
Glad to be here with you too, Sean. And as the green flag comes out, Tyler Johnson in the 5 is going to come out to the early race lead. The 111 of Ryan McCarty into that second place spot, side by side for third between Rosenboom and Coster as they lead lap number 1 through the field. Rosenboom's going to slip back to 4th, and here comes Ice Cold Michelob up to the top 5 already. Out in front though, Tyler Johnson in the 5, followed by McCarty, Coster, Rosenboom, and Volts.
It's going to be interesting. Keep this in mind, Scotty. Your points battle. Oh, contact there as they were racing for the second spot. And we've got a big melee on the back straightaway. We'll have to see how this all pans out as Tyler Johnson checking out from the field. Michaela Volts is into that second spot. I was about to talk about. There's a points implication in this heat race. Michaela Volts, number 2 in points, and the points leader, Tanner Coster, both on the racetrack. Oh boy, Coster has fallen to the 7th position.
Not what the points leader wanted to see. As you see, he's got no nose wing, no hood at all, trying to make up some spots, trying to battle with Opdahl and McCarty. But out in front, Tyler Johnson, Michaela Volts assumes the second spot. Schrum and Ripka and Opdahl, your top 5. Tanner Coster trying to make up some spots here, that number 97.
I want to take a little credit here back behind your leader, the number 7 of Chris Schrum, running in position number 3. I don't think he's made an A-main yet this season with the SoDak iRacing series. He's new to iRacing, been steadily improving, and right now he is in the final transfer spot with 3 laps to go in the opening heat race, brought to us by Jack's Custom Rods.
Top 3 transfer to tonight's A-main as we're watching Schrum and Ripka battle it out for that final transfer spot. Lance Ripka in the 54 working the bottom through the middle. Schrum up on the high side in the number 7 car as he's found something and he's hooking and booking as they come down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go. Final lap, for your race leader, Tyler Johnson, the 5.
So Johnson will bring them around. We've seen him go to victory lane this season in that Mopar number 5 is going to get the win. Michaela Volts is going to go on to tonight's A-main, finish his 2nd, and Chris Schrum Oh, they're celebrating in T, South Dakota right now. He's put the 7 in the A main. Lance Ripka was 4th, Jordan Opdahl 5th, Ryan McCarty, and Tanner Koster in the 6th and 7th spots. As we get set now, heat race number 2 is brought to us by Volts Concrete Construction. Starting lineup will go like this. It'll be the Sioux Falls driver of the State Bank of Fairmont 22 on the pole position. That is Caleb Johnson. On his outside is going to be the 37 of Dylan Sampson. Row number 2 on the inside, it's Kevin Plagman. Shooter drives the 57 car. Oh, different start look on the car tonight. Nope, I need to refresh my trading paints. And Dylan Workman outside of him, he drives the 75. John Coots enters tonight's racing action in the top 10 in points. In fact, he's number 4 in the point standings. He starts inside row number 3, and to his outside will be the number 2 of Brandon Grilly. We move to the next row on the inside. Starting inside the 4th row is the 0. That is Alex Schriever. CJ Johnson in the 31, scheduled to start outside of him, and Brian Hoying from the back in the 132. So that's your starting lineup for Volts Concrete Heat Race number 2 for the SoDak iRacing Series, presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. Scotty, bring us to the green here, and I'm going to go back and do some magical math work.
Sounds good, my friend. You just writing stuff down, and I'll call some action. Not what you wanted to see, though, between your first 2 guys in points, especially the points leader that last heat race, but we'll get to that in a bit as they come into turn number 3. Heat race number 2 brought to you by Volts Concrete Construction. As Pace Truck dives into the infield, green. Underway with heat race number 2. Caleb Johnson out to the early race lead. Here comes Plagman, though, on the bottom. That is going to be the 37 of Sampson. Dylan Workman running on the top shelf as he usually does. Caleb Johnson he is going to be your race leader as they come off a 3 and 4. 37, Sampson running 2nd, Workman in 3rd, John Coots in 4th, Plagman in the 57 running the bottom there, trying to make up some ground here as he's side by side with the 13 of Coots. Fastest lap on the track right now, Caleb Johnson, your race leader in the number 22. As Johnson still leads them. Derek Sampson running in that 2nd spot, and then Dylan Workman, John Coots, Kevin Plagman, Brandon Grilly, Alex Schriever, Johnson, and Hoeing. That is your running order out on the track right now. It's 37 dives to the inside of the track, trying to get a run on the 22 of Johnson. Not going to be able to get it done. Looks like the 31 now of Coots. He's going to be, he's going to be up at the top shelf. 31. I don't think we have him on here, Sean.
Yeah, that's CJ Johnson. Looks like he may have gotten a late start on this one. He's running the bottom of the racetrack. I want to see CJ get back in a real sprint car. John Coots running in that 2nd spot. Dylan Workman has the final transfer in the 75 machine, and he runs just in front of that 57 of Shooter Plagman. As we continue on here in heat race number 2, brought to us by Volts Concrete Construction. It is all Caleb Johnson having a good run. Look to see this driver have a good night tonight, as he's been strong on the bull rings, and that number 22 machine, looking forward to seeing it competing this Friday night with the MSTS and Midwest Power Series at the Jackson Motorplex. Right now, the virtual 22 car well out front. John Coots doing what he needs to do. Still in the points hunt in that 4th spot in the points coming into tonight. He runs in position number 2 as we go inside of 2 laps to go. But you see a tight battle starting to form up there, Scotty.
Yes, you do. Between 2nd and 3rd, Workman riding around the top, tuck tail behind the 13 car. And that is where he is going to finish. Caleb Johnson with the race win, John Coots coming in 2nd, Dylan Workman in 3rd, and those will be your top 3 transferring to tonight's A main.
Heat race number 3 is brought to us by Rapid Speedway, your Friday night home of racing action in Rock Rapids, Iowa, featuring this Friday night the United States Modified Touring Series. Learn more at rockrapidspeedway.com. Scotty, let's take a look at the starting grid.
Starting on the pole in the 10 car, that is Brett Nelson, and to the outside, the Denver Broncos 76, that is Luke Yanes. Inside of row number 2, he drives the 12 car. He is the man putting this entire thing on. That is Troy Schurz, and to the outside, the number 17 of Bruce Jones. Inside of row at number 4, he wants to go fast each and every week. That's the 53 of Trey Thiesemans, and to the outside in the 6th, that is Mitch Lupkis. Shane Lewis in the 25 starts inside of row number 4 in the Buffalo Wild Wings 25. And to the outside, Corey Goodall in the 333.
So heat race number 3, Rapid Speedway heat race number 3 on the racetrack right now. They'll get formed up behind the iRacing pace truck. Again, 10 laps is your distance. Top 3 transfer directly on to tonight's Impact Landscape Designs A main. Again, if you have not done so yet, please, on Facebook, as you watch this, give the feed a share. We want everybody tuned in when we roll around to tonight's Impact Landscape Designs A feature event. Brett Nielsen, Luke Yanas, Troy Shores, Bruce Jones, your top 4 starters. Bruce Jones, the quickest timer out of this group here in Rapid Speedway heat race number 3, and they come to the green flag. It waves here in turn 4. You see that iRacing pace truck head in, and we're underway now, Scotty, with heat 3.
Heat race number 3 underway. Brett Nielsen in the 10, out to the early race lead, almost 3 wide behind him. Troy Shures in the 12. He's not wasting any time. He's already up to the 2nd spot, out battling with Luke Yanas. And Trey Thiesmans in the 53. And right behind them is going to be the 17 of Bruce Jones, followed by Mitch Lupkus and Shane Lewis, and then Corey Goodall. Out in front, though, Brett Nielsen in the 10 car. Troy Shures rim riding around the top, tug tail behind him, trying to. Oh, it's contact!
Bruce Jones, a quick timer in this one, is going to lose several spots. In fact, he has fallen to 8th on the grid. So tough break for the driver who I thought was going to have a really good night. It looks like he may have to come out of the B main. Out front, look at this though now. The 12 of Troy Shores, your leader, Trey Thiesenbitz, right there with them as they chase each other through 3 and 4. And down the front straightaway, Scotty.
Brett Nielsen shuffled back to that 3rd spot. Shane Lewis up to 4th now. Going to try to run down Nielsen to get into tonight's A main without coming through a B. Tough luck for Luke Yanas, Mitch Lupkus, and Bruce Jones, as well as they all got together in a collision. Troy Shures with the fast lap so far, 12.792, as he is out in front. Trey Thiesenbitz in your 2nd spot. He wants to go fast. He's going to need to find something to get around the 12 of Shures, and Brett Nielsen, your current top 3.
Bruce Jones doing what he can to salvage a good starting spot in tonight's B main. He has charged back up to the 5th spot, but that is not going to transfer into tonight's A main at the current time. Laps starting to run short. You see it on the ticker. 3 laps to go for your race leader. Troy Shores out front by 7/10 of a second, now 8/10 of a second, as he brings him off turn number 4. That 53 of Thiesenbitz just close enough to keep him honest. With 2 laps remaining, Scotty.
2 laps to go for Troy Shures in the 12 car. Thiesenbitz trying to transfer into tonight's A main along with Brett Nielsen in the 10. 1 lap to go, one more time around for the 12 car as he is comfortably out in front. Thiesenbitz comfortably in 2nd. Nielsen in 3rd, then back to Shane Lewis in 4th, and Bruce Jones your top 5 as they come off turn number 4. Troy Shures is going to win heat race number 3. Thiesenbitz 2nd, Brett Nielsen 3rd, Shane Lewis and Bruce Jones your top 5.
For the record, there was a crash in that race, and Brett Nielsen wasn't collected up in it. That might be the first time in this whole SoDak iRacing series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.
Might have to write that one down too, Sean.
I'll make a note of that. Let's go to your final heat race of the series. Hard to believe. And the starting lineup for this one, we'll go like this. Starting on the pole is Anthony Anderson. That's the number 63. And Christopher Murray will start on his outside. That's the number 55. Row number 2 has Adobe Peyton Seitz on the inside, the 325. Austin Opdahl will start on his outside in the Opdahl Farms number 20. We move to your 3rd row on the inside. There's the Taco Town 88. That's Corey Klumper. Bob Bessman in the number 15 will start outside of the 3rd row. And row number 4 on the inside, that's the number 3, Connor Hamilton. And everybody cheers at the cabaret. And to his outside will be Josh Hofer in the number 99. 10 laps the distance, top 3 transfer to the Impact Landscape Designs A main. This is Econowash Laundromat heat race number 4 for the SoDak iRacing series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.
Final heat race of the night, just a little bittersweet there, Sean. Coming to the end of a 10-week series, and boy, has it been fun. Now time for your final heat race. Econowash Laundromat bring you heat race number 4 as pace truck dives into the infield. Green's going to come out, and we're underway. 63A Anderson out to the early race lead, and then Murray in 2nd, but here comes the 20 of Austin Opdahl. tuck tail behind him, rim riding around the top side as well. Also, Peyton Seitz in the 325. He's going to move up to the second spot now. Slide job from Seitz on the 55 by Chris Murray, and here comes Connor Hamilton to the inside.
Wow, Connor Hamilton has something to say here in the Econowash Laundromat Heat Race number 4, as he has charged from deep in the field into not just a transfer, but the second spot, and now setting his sights just 0.4 of a second in front of him, your race leader, the 63 of Anthony Anderson. Hamilton up there on the top shelf where he is very comfortable around the speedway, and he gets to the back bumper of the 63 of Anderson. We race for the lead off of turn 4.
And as they race for the lead, Connor Hamilton, where did he come from? Just shot out of a cannon on the first few laps, trying to run down Anderson, your race leader. Sitting in your third and final transfer spot is Austin Opdahl in the 20 car. The car moves back to Cooper in the 88. Bestman, Murray, Hofer, and Seitz rounding out your field. Peyton Seitz getting into the wall earlier. Connor Hamilton, though, up front, side by side for the race lead. And here comes Opdahl into 20 as well. Connor Hamilton assumes the race lead now, rim riding on the top and bringing Opdahl with him. Anderson might get shuffled back to third as they're side by side for second on the track right now, Sean.
Anderson left that top shelf, and he is struggling through the slick. He'll run into third spot, so the good news there, he has maintained a transfer spot to the Impact Landscape Designs, a feature event. Connor Hamilton goes quickest on the track in this heat race. The number 3 car has him hooting and hollering at the Cabaret in Carthage as he leads here with 2 laps to go. They'll come off of turn number 4. The 3 will see the white flag. Final lap of the final heat race of the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.
Connor Hamilton down the backstretch into turns number 3 and 4 for the final time in heat race action for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. He will be your heat race winner. Austin Opdahl in second, Anthony Anderson in third. Those 3 will transfer to tonight's A main. The rest will have to come through a B.
That's Corey Klumper, Bob Bestman, Josh Hofer, Christopher Murray, and Peyton Seitz. Oh my, it's time now, Scotty, for last chance showdown time. 8 more tickets into the Impact Landscape Design A main are available for these drivers. The first 4 up in B main number 1. Here's the starting lineup for this one. Starting on the pole in B main number 1 is the number 54 car. That's Lance Ripka. And alongside him is the 25 of Shane Lewis. Row number 2 on the inside, it's Jordan Opdahl in the 41 machine, and one of tonight's fastest timers starts outside of row number 2. That's the number 17 of Bruce Jones. Third row on the inside, it's Ryan McCarty in the 111. The 333 of Corey Goodall will start on his outside. We move now to your 4th row on the inside, and that is going to feature Tanner Koster, who is, by the way, well, let's not say it yet. Tanner Koster starts 7th on the grid. Mitch Lupkus will start outside of row number 4. And the final row of this one, Kyle Roseboom on the inside, the 42. Luke Yanez starts 10th on the grid in the 76. And coming off the back, this will be one to watch. Travis Shores in the 1 car. He had some booting issues, did not take time, did not run his heat race. He will start 11th in this one. And by the way, don't quite pop the bubbly yet, but your SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction, champion by setting quick time here tonight, is Tanner Koster. Now he's got to get down to business and make the A main as we get set for that green. 12 laps the distance, top 4 transfer to the A.
As the green comes out, Lance Ripka going to lead him on the top side. No, Jordan Opdahl in the 41 on the inside. Oh, big pile up, big pile up.
The 54 of Lance Ripka involved, the 76 of Luke Yanez, and the caution flag's going to fly for the first time here tonight. Keep this in mind, Scotty. Yellow flag laps do count in the B main. So, clock is ticking every yellow flag lap here for those drivers who started deep in the field who need to charge forward to punch a ticket into tonight's Impact Landscape Designs A feature.
Travis Shores especially not being able to run the heat, just barely skimming through that, hopefully without a scratch in that number 1 car. Looked like Lance Ripka got a little loose, and then chaos ensued. The 76 Luke Yanez up in that as well. Shane Lewis and Bruce Jones. I don't know if Goodall was caught up in that or not, but not the way you want to start the first B feature here, Sean.
No, not at all. Jordan Opdahl is your leader. Tanner Koster is into that second spot. A little different look on the 97 car here tonight. Kyle Roseboom, Ryan McCarty currently run in the transfer spot. Mitch Lupkus, I know all the folks down there in Rock Rapids are cheering that 6 machine on and look already up to the 6th position. That number 1 of Travis Shores, he was able to sneak through the chaos. He's still got a couple positions to go to get into a transfer. We're back to green in this B main event. They'll go into turn number 1 with 8 laps remaining. Now 7 laps to go, excuse me.
As Jordan Opdahl in the 41 leads the field. Tanner Koster up to the second spot now, fighting with Kyle Roseboom in the 42. Mitch Lupkus running in your 4th and final transfer spot in the number 6. Jordan Opdahl, he's found something on the bottom side of the racetrack in the 41 car as he leads the field down the front stretch into turn number 1. Roseboom up to second now as Tanner Koster and the 97-42 keep trading spot for spot.
Behind them, it is a wild one going on right now. The number 1 of Travis Shores has charged forward. He has the final transfer spot, but you see Shane Lewis working the bottom in the 25, and also coming along with him is the 111 of Ryan McCarty. The 6 of Mitch Lupkus has been shuffled back to position number 8. The number 1 of Travis Shores entered tonight's competition, 3rd in the point standings. He has the final transfer position here in B main number 1, but Shane Lewis steadfast working on the bottom in the 25, trying to chase him back down.
Travis
Lewis just spun. Lewis just spun and collect the 76 of Yanez over in turn 4, and those drivers are going to say, yeah, that's enough of that. So things continue. Travis Shores still has the final transfer spot.
Could we possibly see the final transfer spot of Travis Shores making it out of a B main to get the win tonight for extra money on the line as well with the final lap? Tanner Koster with the race lead. Jordan Opdahl running in 2nd, and that is how they're going to finish. Kyle Roseboom in 3rd and Travis Shores in 4th. Those 4 drivers transfer into tonight's A main.
Koster, Roseboom, Opdahl, Shores go to the A. We've got 4 more drivers to invite to the big dance here tonight for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. B main number 2 will line up with 11 cars, 12 times around, 4 transfers. Scotty, let's take a look at the grid.
As our good friend Anthony Ainsley would say, it is now time for one last chance to make the last big dance. Kevin Plagman, he's going to start on the pole with Corey Klumper in the 88 to the outside. Starting in row number 2 to the inside, that is number 2 of Brandon Grilly, and the 15 of Bob Bestman to the outside. Inside of row number 3, that is going to be Alex Schriever in the Top Shelf Racing Podcast number 0, and to the outside, the number 99 of Josh Hofer. Inside of row number 4, that is going to see CJ Johnston in the 31, and to the outside in the 55, that is Christopher Murray. Inside of row number 5, Dylan Sampson in the 37 car with Peyton Seitz to the outside in 10th. Starting shotgun on the field in the 11, that's going to be the 132 of Brian Hoeing. Once again, it is one last chance to make the big dance here tonight on championship night for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.
So 12 times around here in B main number 2. A lot on the line. After this one, we'll have a couple minutes to get the track ready for that A feature event, and then we will get right into that big one here tonight. By the way, tonight's A feature, 40 laps in distance. B feature number 2, pace truck drops him off. We're ready to go. And we are green. Great start there for Shooter Plagman. The 57 is going to rocket into the race lead, goes to the top shelf in turn number 1. Here comes Brandon Grilly, Mr. Lucky on the bottom of the racetrack. And that Fernson Beer number 2 works the bottom of the racetrack just in front of the 0 of Alex Schriever. And then it's a battle for the final transfer spot. CJ Johnson into 31 has it. The 3 wide behind him coming forward is the 37 Dylan Sampson. Oh, let's keep our eye right here. That is a battle for the final transfer spot. Give it now to Dylan Sampson in the 37 working the bottom.
Sampson working the bottom side, hanging on to that final transfer spot, but he wants more. He has caught the back bumper of the 0 of Alex Schriever, but back behind them, Johnson in the 31 car as well, as they're fighting it out to try to get into tonight's A main. Brandon Grilly still in second. Shooter Plagman still on the point, but the 31 and 37 cars not going away, as Sampson on the outside looking in with Johnson in the 31 holding that on to that final transfer spot.
Sampson looks back to the inside. He'll get a good drive off of turn number 2 down to turn number 3. Side by side for the last transfer spot. Dylan Sampson on the bottom. He'll go by the 31 of CJ Johnson. They both work to the bottom line. That is the 37 car of Dylan Sampson. You see him entering turn number 3. He holds the final transfer spot, but he is just 0.4 of a second in front of CJ Johnson, who is 1 spot out of the transfer. And they, I believe, are reeling in the 0 of Alex Schriever just a bit.
Looks like possibly a lap car in there as well, I think. That's the 99 of Murray, or no, excuse me, 99 of Hofer. As the lap cars, he goes up top. Alex Schriever still sitting in position at number 3. Brandon Grilly in second. Kevin Plagman, your top runner at the time now, though. Looks like CJ Johnson on the outside looking in. Dylan Sampson in the 37 holds on to that final transfer spot with just a few laps to go, Sean.
So they work through turns 1 and 2, 3 laps to go. CJ Johnson closing in, but can't quite get there. They both run the bottom, and you see the 0 of Alex Schriever in the picture there as well, just in front of them. So you can see how close 3rd, 4th, and 5th are on the racetrack right now, but time's starting to run short. Kevin Plagman, Brandon Grilly, they have checked out. They need to keep their noses clean to go to the big dance. Schriever, Sampson, Johnson, who wants to go? Schriever looks good right now. He's in the catbird seat down the back straightaway for the final time. Dylan Sampson holds the final transfer through the final set of turns, and he'll have it and go on to the A main. So Kevin Plagman, Brandon Grilly, Alex Schriever, Dylan Sampson, your 4 transfer spots in B main number 2. Dylan Sampson going +5 in that B main to make a transfer. And just like that, Scotty, time trials, 4 heats, 2 Bs. We're just about set for tonight's A main.
And 40 laps, like you mentioned earlier, Sean, for tonight's A main. I think that's the longest feature we've had this season.
It is going to feel like the longest A main for these drivers out here. This racetrack, where it is starting right now, as you see the 53 of Thieves, and it's had a little trouble out there on the racetrack. Take a good look at the track now. You're going to see him come out here on the track. You see John Coots pulling on. Tyler Johnson's running some laps. It is already slick there through the middle. That's worn out. If you pick up the throttle in that slick, you're going to do nothing but spin the tires. It's going to be like you're tied to a tree stump. That top groove is going to be mighty fast. In fact, right now you're going to watch him in practice run that top shelf, and it's going to be fast up there. But as we've seen so many times, Scotty, that racetrack's going to wear out on that top. That cushion is going to be razor thin along the top. It's going to get interesting in this A main.
Yes, it is. We see that each and every week, though, with these drivers. So the top line normally goes away, I would say, probably about midway through the race. But somehow Dylan Workman in that 75 usually seems to still figure it out and find his way to the front.
That's just comfort in this iRacing deal. You can't call it a game. It's a simulator, and it may be even more than that, because this is as real as it gets without getting in a real race car. These drivers right now preparing for 40 laps of battle here. As I got to do one more thing before this A main. Okay, there, that one's cracked open and ready to go. These drivers are struggling on this track right now, Scotty. Watching this practice session, there's a lot of crashing going on. But let's be honest, 20 cars on this racetrack, there's not a lot of room to hide.
And not a lot of room for error at that as well. By the way, Trey Thiesenbit said if he gets offered the back row challenge, he is going to take it. So we'll see if the 53 car will be offered that.
Who wouldn't take it? It's $600 tonight, thanks to the $300 from the John Kraus IMCA Sprint Car Racing team, and also Dylan Opdahl Racing adding the $300 to take it. I would take it right now, and there's no way I would come through, but, you know, lightning strikes once in a while.
But does it hit the same place twice?
Well, it hasn't hit yet this year, so we'll find out.
That it is. Becca Jane Grace commenting, the Cabaret is forgiving Connor Hamilton on going a bar tab if he can get first place tonight for Connor Hamilton in the 3-car. So let's see what's going to happen here for tonight's A-Main in just about 2 minutes, looks like, Sean.
Oh, we've got a lot of good people chiming in here tonight. 49 comments, 31 shares. Thank you all so much for doing that. If you haven't shared it yet, the A-Main is coming up here in a couple minutes, so share it. You've got one last chance for your friends on Facebook to see this, and then they're going to go, oh, you've been doing that on Wednesday nights? That was really cool. I should have been watching for the last 10 weeks. We'll see them again this fall and into the winter, maybe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Sean, I'm going to follow suit from you, though. I'm going to go grab something to drink. I'm going to be right back.
Sounds good. And as you are tuned in at home or wherever you're watching here tonight, maybe it's the Cabaret, get yourself another drink. Maybe hit that restroom really quickly because that A-Main is just around the corner. Oh, a $25 bonus on Brandon Grilly to go top 5 from Marty. Been good working with Marty here the last couple weeks out at I-90 Speedway. He's traded in his helmet for officiating duties. And Marty, I hope you're having fun being an official out there. It's a whole different ball game, isn't it? Dylan Opdahl, hi, buddy. Again, if you're looking to sponsor a sprint car, contact Dylan Opdahl. He commented here a little bit ago on the feed here on PitStop TV's Facebook page. So say hi to him, and there's a race car for you to sponsor. Last couple moments for these drivers to feel out this racetrack. Track starting to wear out. That cushion is up there on the wall. Oh, I've got some ideas cooking in my head. Somebody just flipped way up in the air in turn 4. Oh boy, this is going to be a wild 40 laps.
That it is, as my beer cap hits the toolbox here in my living room.
Oh, all right.
Scotty broke out a drink tonight. That's surprising, I know, but hey, it's championship night. Why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man. Clock hitting 0. It is just about time for tonight's Impact Landscape Designs A-Feature event on a Championship Wednesday night for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. The field about to set. Let's take a look at tonight's 40-lap A-Main starting lineup. Scotty, let's start them in row number 10.
As looks like, I don't have.
Oh, you can't do it. You can't do it. All right. Starting at 20th, it'll be the number 37 of Dylan Sampson, and your 19th starter inside row number 10 is the number 1 of Travis Shores. Row number 9 on the outside, it's the 0 of Alex Schriever, and to his inside, the 41 of Jordan Opdahl. 8th row on the outside is the number 2 of Brandon Grilly, and starting 15th is the 42 of Kyle Roseboom. Row number 7 on the outside is the number 57. It's shooter Kevin Plagman. And inside of him is your points champion, the number 97 of Tanner Koster. Row number 6 on the outside, it's the 63 of Anthony Anderson. And starting 11th, it's Brett Nielsen in the number 10. We move now to your top 10 starters. Starting outside of row number 5, it's the 75 of Dylan Workman. And your 9th starter from T, South Dakota, making his first career start with the SoDak iRacing Series, it's the number 7 of Chris Schramm. Row number 4 on the outside, it's the number 5 of Tyler Johnson. And 7th on the grid, it's the 22 of Caleb Johnson. Starting outside row number 3, it's the 12 of Troy Shores. And your top 5 starters line up like this. Starting 5th, it's Connor Hamilton into 3. Starting 4th, Michaela Bolt. Starting 3rd, John Coots. Starting 2nd, Trey Thiesenbitz. And on the pole, Austin Opdahl Scotty.
As you see, this is for you, the fans. They just did a 4-wide salute. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us each and every week. Now, 40 laps of distance here for your 20 starters for tonight's A-Main. Sean, take it, my friend.
Austin Opdahl takes the back road challenge. You can't hide on this racetrack. It's a cage fight at 112 miles an hour. We are racing on Championship Wednesday for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. John Coots from the front row, leads them, working the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes the 3 of Connor Hamilton. He grabs the second spot as the yellow flag flies for the first time in tonight's 40-lapper. Chris Schramm with trouble in the number 7 car, and he will draw out the caution.
Looks like he took the quick fix there in the 7 car. Looks like he'll probably be going to the rear of the field, though, I would assume.
Absolutely. Just one quick fix for these drivers over the 40-lap distance here tonight. Here's one thing to keep in mind. These yellow flags are going to be very, very fast, so the field going to have to get lined up very, very quickly on the racetrack. As you see the replay there, the 7 getting a little bit out of shape, made contact with another car before getting upside down on the straightaway. That puts us under the yellow early on in tonight's Impact Landscape Designs A-Main. Got to mention a big thank you from PitStop TV to Permanent Makeup, as well as Cairo in Maine and Whiplash Media for making their broadcast possible. You can tune in tomorrow night on PitStop TV for the SRCA Pro F2000 finale from Indianapolis. Looks like we're just about set for this restart. John Coots, Connor Hamilton, Caleb Johnson, Michaela Volts, and Trade Thiesenvitz are your top 5. Yellow flag remains out over the speedway as the field continues to get set behind the pace vehicle. Taking a good look there at the 13 of John Coots. You talked about him earlier in the show, Scotty, about how consistent that number 13 Jack's Custom Rods car is.
That he is. I don't think he has a feature win this season. There's a couple weeks I missed, so I cannot say for sure. But
he does not.
Mr. Consistent out in front right now, leading the race here tonight. As we come back to the green flag, John Coots in the 13 will lead them into turn 1 and 2. Connor Hamilton quickly going to the top shelf. Caleb Johnson on the bottom. Here comes Ice Cold Michelob on the top shelf as well. Trey Thiesenvitz currently back in spot number 5 with Troy Schurz and Tyler Johnson along for the ride.
Keep in mind, these cars right now are handling completely different than they will later in the race, with more than 20 gallons of fuel to make the 40-lap distance here tonight. Right now, these cars, pretty much a handful. Speaking of handful, the 53 of Trey Thiesenvitz got into the outside wall. He has fallen to the 9th spot in that 53. You see him making his way through turns 1 and 2 now. Out front, Connor Hamilton continues to rim ride. John Coots, nice and easy around the bottom of the racetrack. The 13 will lead as we go to lap number 6 of 40.
But look who's up in that 7th spot already there, Sean. Now back out to 8th. Tanner Koster in the 97. He came through a B on the bottom side of the track. How did he advance so quickly? Battling with Troy Schurz in the 12 car for that 7th and 8th positions. Tyler Johnson in the picture as well, as he is going to be in the number 6 spot. Dylan Workman, Michaela Volts, Caleb Johnson, Connor Hamilton, and John Coots, your top 5. Coots still with the race lead out in front. Hamilton in the 03 trying to run him down. As Michaela Volts looks like he just got into the wall in turn at number 3 there. And the caution flag, no, we're still green.
Battle for the race lead off of turn number 2. Give it to the number 3 of Connor Hamilton. Hamilton rim rides around the 13, and John Coots says now he's got to change lines. He goes to the top shelf, now running in that 2nd spot. The 3 of Connor Hamilton looking very fast around the outside of the speedway. Caleb Johnson, Michaela Volts, Dylan Workman remain in the top 5. You talked about Tanner Koster, who's back there in the 8th spot. He has only missed a podium 1 of the previous 9 races in that 97 machine. Connor Hamilton looks for vengeance here tonight. That 3 car, very strong, out to nearly a 1-second lead.
And a 1-second lead for the 3 car. John Coots back to 2nd, rim riding around the bottom now. Caleb Johnson still in 3rd. Michaela Volts holds on to 4th. And Tyler Johnson is your top 5. Dylan Workman in the 6th spot in the 75. You know he's got to be riding around the top side of the speedway trying to make up some spots.
Oh, they just went 4 wide in turn 1, Scotty. Starting to break you up there. You see those 4 cars stair-stepping now heading to turn number 3. Oh, a big pack of cars all trying to chase down the 3rd spot with Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson, Tyler Johnson, looks like Workman and possibly Tanner Koster, Michaela Volts involved in there as well.
Caution's going to come out, a couple of cars together. It did involve the number 5 of Tyler Johnson, who we just saw on our screen. The number 5 car getting damaged. Michaela Volts just got into him there under yellow. Michaela just lost a lot of the front end of his car. So, boy, a lot of trouble there. A lot of things going on early on in this feature event as the 53 of Trey Thiesenwitz was down in the work area. Tyler Johnson hits the work area, as does Caleb Volts. All of them pitting from right there on the fringe of the top 5.
But how about that 3-car out in front of Connor Hamilton getting around the 13 of Kuntz? We saw Hamilton a couple weeks ago lead the entire race only to lose it on a slide job from Travis Shores, but man, he was excited just to have second place. So let's see what the 3-car can do and see what he can do for his friends at the Cabaret cheering him on.
Oh, I bet they are just having a great time there right now. Field gets doubled up behind the pace vehicle. They'll enter turn number 3. Into the top 5 is the 97 of Tanner Koster. Field bunches up. We come back to the green. And we're back underway here at Lanier at the championship event for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Updahl Construction. Look at that race for the second spot. Caleb Johnson, the 22, just took it. Kuntz in the middle, the 3 wide, racing for the lead off of turn number 4. Hamilton banks the wall. Then Johnson gets into him. Nearly 4 wide in turn 1. Look at this pack of cars down the back straightaway. 1st through 7th all together now up with turn number 4, Scotty.
Throw a blanket around him. Where did this racing come from? Connor Hamilton trying to hold on to the race lead. John Kuntz running the bottom. Dylan Workman up top. Johnson on the bottom. Shooter Plagman, he come out of a B feature as he is up to the 5th spot now. Tanner Koster on the outside looking in 6th. Just a gaggle of cars here through the top 5, all racing from top to bottom and through the middle as well. Koster on the bottom trying to make up a couple spots here as he sits right behind the 22 of Johnson.
Oh, a little trouble there for Hamilton. He banged the wall just before turn number 1. Car got very tight on him. John Kuntz works the bottom, gets the car sideways, missed the bottom just a little bit. That allows Hamilton to pull away with the lead, and here comes the 75 of Dylan Workman piloting around the top of the racetrack as Caleb Johnson was trying to get to the inside with the 13 of John Kuntz. Workman in the middle, racing for the lead. Is there moisture? No, Hamilton still has the lead. Here comes Workman through the middle. Kuntz on the bottom, 3 wide for the race lead off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. You know it's a good race when the voice squeaks.
3 wide for the race lead once again, and 2 by 2 behind them for 4th and 5th. Connor Hamilton up on the top shelf. Workman through the middle. Kuntz on the bottom. Kuntz with a better run off the corner that time, coming into turn number 3. Workman still through the middle. Kuntz on the bottom. He's found some grip on the bottom. That's where he's going to stay. He's going to be your new race leader in the 13 car. Dylan Workman back to the top shelf. Going to challenge for the race lead now. Caleb Johnson a little slideways off of turn number 2, but John Kuntz out in the 13. Could this be the night the 13 car goes to victory lane?
It's looking good right now, but that 75 of Dylan Workman looking very good as well. If you look carefully at the 75 of Workman here, you can't quite see it as good here in turns 3 and 4, but when he gets down to 1 and 2, watch the handwork inside this car. This is what he is actually doing on his rig at home. They're side by side for the race lead. You see him back into turn number 1. A lot of hand motion there as he now goes through the middle looking for the lead. He's got it at the line. Middle leader, it's Dylan Workman, but he goes back to the top shelf here in turns 1 and 2. Workman leads down the back straightaway as we're about to enter lap traffic. 15 laps remain in the series.
15 laps to go. Dylan Workman back down to the bottom now. Normally he rides around the top, but not doing that in these 2 corners. He's going to go back through the middle now, closer to the top in turns 3 and 4. Still working on lap traffic. John Kuntz slips back to 3rd. Caleb Johnson in 3rd, excuse me. Shooter Plagman up to 4th, and Travis Shores is the one, your top 5.
Yeah, that's right. Travis Shores out of a B main. He's gone plus 14 in this feature event into the top 5. Dylan Workman changes lines, goes up on the top, rim riding right next to the concrete, and he'll do the same here in turns 3 and 4. His lead now 0.8 of a second over the 13 of John Kuntz. This racetrack now with 11 laps remaining is flat out worn out, and these drivers are going to have to get up on the wheel for the final 10 slick track laps around Lanier Speedway, and the final 10 laps of the series now underway. You see the race there. The number 1 of Travis Shores is up to the 3rd position. I hate to say it, that number 1 car, Scotty, he might need a caution and be in contention.
The number 1 car normally in contention each and every week. Multiple feature winner here this season in the SoDak iRacing Series. Dylan Workman in the 75, still with the race lead. John Coots in second spot, then back a few car lengths to the one Assures. Johnson and Johnson, Caleb Johnson and Tyler Johnson working on each other with Schurz and Plagman. Your top 7, your points leader, Tanner Koster, in position at number 8.
Looks like most of the cars now starting to work the bottom of the racetrack. As they say that, the 97 of Tanner Koster, he works the very top of the speedway, gets into the wall just a little bit. The 57 of Kevin Plagman also running the top of the speedway, but most of those in the top 5 running the bottom. That is, except for your race leader, the 75 of Dylan Workman down the front straightaway. And he will lead him as we see the race for the second spot. John Coots now under fire from the number 1 of Travis Shores. Shores through the middle. There's just a little bit more moisture there in the middle, and it's keeping his momentum up. Looking for the second spot and has it. The number 1 of Travis Shores has gained 17 positions in this Impact Landscape Designs A-Main. Remember, if he wins, he'd pick up that $100 bonus from Dylan Opdahl Racing for coming from the B-Main for the victory. The difference between your race leader back to Travis Shores is 1.6 seconds, however, with 4 laps to go.
Just under a handful of laps to go for the 75 of Workman as he gets caught up behind the lap car of Jordan Opdahl in the 41. That might have been the deal that Travis Schurz needed as he gets caught, though, behind Alex Schriever and then Dylan Sampson in the 37 car. Schurz trying to run through the middle as they're 3 wide in front of him as lap cars racing for position. Dylan Workman still out in front. Schurz trying to close the gap. 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag, Sean.
It is down to 0.7 of a second as Shores drives it in deep into turn number 3. White flag flies, final lap of the series. Dylan Workman with the advantage off of turn number 3. He's got a little bit of traffic just in front of him into turn 3 and off of turn number 4. And it will be the 75 of Dylan Workman, your winner here tonight at Lanier. The 1 of Travis Shores second. John Coots will finish 3rd. Tyler Johnson 4th. Caleb Johnson 5th. Kevin Plagman 6th. Troy Shores, Connor Hamilton, Brett Nielsen, and points champion Tanner Koster, the top 10. Donuts time for your race winner, the 75 of Dylan Workman. Scotty, he earned every bit of that one here tonight, and we're going to have an opportunity to hear not only from our top 3, but I also see our champion parking on the front straightaway here as well. Look forward to all of that. So if you're tuned in, don't tune out just yet. I know the racing is done, but we've got a lot to celebrate and a lot to talk about with these drivers here tonight after an amazing 40-lap A-Main. Scotty, did we just have 2 yellows in that whole thing? That is pretty awesome. Down there in victory lane, the 75 of Dylan Workman, he is nosed up with your champion. Dylan Workman is going to get the win here tonight. Wow. First of all, Dylan, you go +9 to get the win here tonight on this tight bull ring. Tell us about it from your position.
It was the car was good all night. I knew coming in you were gonna have to be able to run the top, run through the middle, run any line possible to have any chance at all to win this race.
We saw you bang the wall a couple times. We saw you run the bottom, and you were one of the first drivers to try the middle of the racetrack. Was that just something you thought you had to do, or was it something, we know you've got plenty of experience here at Lanier. Was that something that you knew from past races to try?
Oh, it was just something I knew was gonna come in eventually. Once all the crumbs get blown off the bottom, you were gonna have to move to the middle, try to catch a little bit of moisture, what could be there.
You end the series here, looks like right around the 5th place spot in the points, maybe 6th, I think. You had to miss one of those races for work, but 3 feature event wins here, and not just tonight, but you also picked up a win. The 360 sprints at Volusia. We also saw you win in the 360s at the dirt track at Charlotte. Overall, you have to give yourself an A+ for your performance here during this 10-week series, right?
Oh, definitely. Honestly, I thought last week I had a pretty fast car too. Just things didn't go my way. No, I can't. I'm just gonna keep turning more laps and try to get ready for the next season.
You're one of those guys that's run a lot of the other leagues out there. You've seen them. Where does this one rank?
It's sure as heck a lot of fun. I mean, we have a lot of local guys, and it's just a lot of fun knowing you can race people that you know are actually out there and you can go talk to in person.
Well, it's been fun watching you. Congratulations on win number 3 here tonight, the 360 Sprints at Lanier.
Thank you.
And now let's hear for the man who's going to pick up a big bonus here tonight, the Handyman Auto Glass Hard Charger Award, going plus 17 positions. Oh, what could have been if there wasn't computer trouble. Let's talk with Travis Shores, who's standing by with Scotty DeYoung.
Travis, like we just mentioned, computer problems for you to start the night, having to come through a B, not being able to run your heat race, and making up 17 spots to finish in the runner-up spot. Had given a couple laps. Do you think you could have run down Dylan for the 75 in the win?
Yeah. Me and Dylan have had a lot of really good races this year. So I was about when I got to third, I was really praying for a caution because I knew I actually accidentally found the middle. Driving through traffic, I was a little worried the first half of the race. I kind of got pinballed around for a while and actually fell backwards quite a ways. I was still in about 15th, I think, at halfway, and trying to dice through traffic, I found the middle, and I just drove by everybody, I guess, right through the middle. It was crazy. I don't normally run that line, but once I started picking them off and kind of forgot where I was and didn't really know what position I was in, and I saw I had John and Dylan in front of me, and I knew if I got a yellow with a few laps to go, I could probably have a pretty good shot at getting by them. But it's the nice part about being kind of in the back. You find a lot of lines that you might not normally try, and that definitely helped me.
Normally the middle line here is not the preferred line for how slick it gets, but did it change over time with the top and the bottom lines just not quite being there? The middle line was more preferred?
Yeah, the track progressed really fast. I mean, you had the top early. It did not take many laps at all to burn that off. Then everybody went down to the bottom, and it burned that off quick. But when when you burn both those lines off, I mean, you really got to hunt around, and being just off the bottom, kind of first thing on the banking, is really preferred. But you can really run anywhere in the middle. I mean, there's multiple lines in the middle. It's more about finesse at that point.
Absolutely, and working your way up through 17 spots coming out of a B to take home the runner-up position tonight. What has the past 10 weeks been like for you, and are you excited for more possibly in the offseason?
Well, definitely peaks and valleys. I learned I'm good in sprint cars and bad at everything else, so that was pretty apparent. I mean, it was fun. It's a cool deal. It really blew up. It's fun to race with guys you actually race with or talk to or pit with or whatever. I think it went pretty awesome. So can't wait for the next one. Hopefully it gets bigger. It's a great way to burn up a Wednesday night.
Once again, Travis Shores, your runner-up tonight in the number 1 car. A few feature wins today, but coming up for the runner-up position tonight, up 17 spots. Now, standing by with our number 3rd place finisher, Mr. Consistency, John Coots, standing by with Sean Easted. Sean?
John, that number 13 car looked very good in tonight's feature event. Got to lead some laps, and there at the end, still another nice podium finish. A nice way to round out the 10-week series, and also looks like you're going to be in the top 5 in points.
Yeah, the car was really good up here in the front. It's hard to lead those first few laps. You can't, when the track starts to change, you can't see where people are moving. And like Trav said, that middle came in, and I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, one of those things where you get out front and it's a blessing and a curse. You were kind of a sitting duck there as those other cars were hunting around and found those positions. And then it seemed like you came back to life and were able to get back around the 3 of Hamilton as the track continued to change. So you really had to be on your toes tonight, it seemed.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, it would have helped to be able to search around a little bit more. I think, like you said, when you're a sitting duck up there and you don't really want to give up what's working for you. You get back by somebody, and I knew Dylan would be coming. I don't want to say it, but I knew Trav was going to be coming too, and I'm happy with it.
We need to before we're done here, we need to thank you for your contributions to this league. You've been, I think, keeping points all this time. It's not an easy points formula. You also donated the great rod from Jack's Custom Rods here, so thank you for all that you've done. Hope you've had fun, and we look forward to another round of it somewhere down the road. Right? Question mark?
Oh, I sure hope so. It's been an absolute blast. We got to thank you guys for the announcing. We got to thank PitStop. We got to thank Advantage. We got to, everybody that's on board here. It's been awesome. Thanks, Troy, for, putting up with our crap each and every week and running this league. Anybody who's been watching, we appreciate you. If you want to, throw some money at it, get some sponsorships for this winter series, we would gladly appreciate it.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. John, congratulations on a podium run here tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
And now, Scotty, let's join this man down here who is so familiar with the front straightaway after these events. And he is now your inaugural SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction champion. Everybody say hello to Tanner Koster. Tanner, did you imagine 10 weeks ago this is where you'd be tonight?
Not at all. Like I've said before, when we started this, I was going to be happy if I made the main show every night and was competing with some of these guys. So all in all, it was a great season. A few wins that stretch there where felt like I was unbeatable for a little bit, and tonight was rough. I surprised myself by quick timing and then looking like an idiot in the heat race. So couldn't quite figure out the main where I needed to be, but it all worked out, I guess, in the end.
Were you nervous after that heat race, and how much attention were you paying to the points throughout tonight's program?
Yeah, I felt like a rock star after qualifying, and then I felt like an idiot after the heat race, so I was definitely sweating it. I knew I could probably go out and get the B. I didn't really want to have to be there, but I knew I had a good gap to begin with, and I was like, if I just make the main, I'll be okay. And that's ultimately what I did. But before I forget, I want to give a shout out to a lot of people that watch me and enjoy me. My mom, my dad, I got a couple sets of grandparents that are watching this special car tonight with Alzheimer's on board for my grandpa, and this car's kind of dedicated to him. But my fiance and her family that watch this, everybody that puts this deal on, it's been a really fun 10 weeks, and I really can't wait to keep doing it with these guys.
So I think it's safe to say if we get another one of these going fall, winter or so, we can count you in?
Absolutely. I'll be there anytime, every time.
I know you've raced around iRacing quite a bit. You guys are having fun here on the track. Where do you rank this series, and where do you rank this championship and the accomplishments you've had here with this series, with everything else you've done with iRacing?
I've only been on here for a couple of years, and I've ran with a lot of people, and this is probably by far the coolest thing I've ever done, just with how local it is. Like, I think Trav mentioned it, there's people that the face, the name, you've seen them, you've talked to them, there's a lot of good people out here, and it's so much fun to come out here and be competitive with a lot of these names that, to me, are people I've known for a long time, and it's really cool. I've met a lot of people, put some faces and names, and made some buddies along the way, I suppose.
I like it. Again, congratulations on 8 out of 10 podium finishes, all the wins, and it all adds up to the championship. $150. Or are you going to take the Jack's Customs rod when it comes time for the banquet?
I'm sure the rod is nice, but I'm not much of a fisherman, so I'll probably take the cash.
Sounds good. Congratulations on the championship, Mr. Tanner Koster.
Thank you very much.
Scotty.
Yes, sir.
We led into this one tonight, talking about how exciting this one was going to be, and it did not disappoint. What a night here on the High Banks at Lanier with the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction Series Championship.
Not only what a night, but what a past 10 weeks we have had. I mean, it has been fun. It has been action-packed. Some Cinderella stories, as well as, you just heard Tanner mention he was just happy to make a show and ended up being the show with the
I think it's Tanner's time to do some donuts and Dylan work with. They're doing double donuts out there on the racetrack right now. That's how you celebrate.
Exactly. That's how you celebrate synchronized donuts, as we would call that, synchronized spinners, but synchronized donuts sounds a little better. Definitely been a fun 10-week series. I can't wait for more in the offseason.
Oh, me too. You know how good this is going to feel when there's snow? I don't want to say that word too much, but you know how good this is going to feel when there's snow on the ground here in a few months? These guys are just going to tear the cars up here for a while.
Hey, it's championship night. I mean, what's left to fix, right?
Absolutely. Nothing else. They're just going to sell them. Send it off to the swap meet. We're going to need to start wrapping things up here. Tonight went fast. What do we have? 2 yellows, 3 yellows in that A main. We were done a little after 9 o'clock. What a night here, Scotty. But again, as I said earlier, pleasure to do this with you. Pleasure to do it earlier this year with the great crew from Advantage Racing TV. A big thank you to Victor and everyone with PitStop TV, who's back there behind the scenes making everything look good here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we just couldn't thank the guys from SoDak iRacing Series for saying, hey, would you guys maybe just want to broadcast this, something to do while all of this COVID-19 stuff was happening. And what started out as an idea, now 13 weeks later, oh my goodness, this has been the most one of the most fun times I've ever had. And Sean, if I may say so myself, it has been an honor and a privilege to call racing action with one of my idols who I've been idolizing for a long time. So it has definitely been fun, my friend.
I don't know who else you announced with, but no, I'm kidding. Thank you very much. It's been fun, and I look forward to announcing future virtual and real races with you, buddy. Always a good time. What a deal! SoDak iRacing Series. A big thanks to all the sponsors: Jordan Opdahl Construction, Jack's Custom Rods, Volts Concrete Construction, Rapid Speedway, Econo Wash. Big thanks, Handyman Auto Glass presented the Hard Charger Award every night. Travis Shores picked that up tonight. Pivot Companies with the Lucky Dog Award every single night. John Kraus, the IMCA Sprint Car team, didn't quite give out the back row money, so that's going to roll into the point fund. Nielsen Crop Insurance, big thank you to you guys for supporting Perfect Attendance. My Race Pass, thanks to them and everybody else who was part of this. More than $1,000 raised to do some virtual racing with a bunch of us from up here in the upper Midwest. What a great time we've had.
Absolutely. And thank you to you, the fans, for tuning in each and every week when real racing couldn't be going on. And even after it started, you guys have been the best, loyal, and supportive fans here for the SoDak iRacing Series. I think I speak for all the drivers and everyone else involved when I say thank you to you guys. You guys have been nothing but the best, and we hope to see you for round number 2 in the offseason for the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.
So that's going to do it for us tonight here from the virtual Linear Speedway. More coverage coming up tomorrow night here on PitStop TV. The finale happening tomorrow night. You can tune in live on the Facebook of PitStop TV for the SRCA Pro F2000. And you can find out more about that and upcoming events on PitStop TV. Follow them on Facebook, facebook.com/PitStopTV, Twitter @PitStopTV_, Twitch on twitch.tv /pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube by searching PitStop TV. We certainly do hope you have enjoyed the coverage on Advantage and here on PitStop TV of the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction. Everyone with PitStop TV, thanks you for tuning in to their page, and I hope that you have enjoyed this broadcast. For Scotty DeYoung, I'm Sean Niestead here on PitStop TV. Looking forward to seeing you folks at the real racetracks this weekend. MSTS Sprint Cars Friday at Jackson Motorplex. Friday at Rapid Speedway, USMTS. I-90 Speedway has the Premier Racing Series on Saturday. Norfolk Speedway, Off-Road Speedway in Norfolk, Nebraska. Scotty will be down there for IMCA action this Saturday. And then Sunday, you can catch the new Raceway Park as well. Scotty, you'll be down there. A lot of racing action happening in the area. The bottom line is get out to your local racetracks and support local racing. Right, Scotty?
Absolutely. Support your local tracks. It's the best thing you can do. Bring a friend if they've never been before, and maybe they'll bring a friend in the future. But as I often say with my comrade PJ Pedersen, in whatever you do this week, please make sure to be safe, and we'll see you next time here on the SoDak iRacing Series presented by Jordan Opdahl Construction.